Hey guys, Elita Legionarii here, bringing you a 2v2 on classic Grassy Flatlands. Both myself and Swedishlandsknekt, or the Wolfengruppen, are defending this map, even though we actually do pretty much offensive. And our opponents are SelfRatedPro and Gimme Cook I3S, I think that's how you say his name. Sorry if I say your name wrong. This is a really good game, this one. This one comes down to the wire. It's a very, very good game, so I advise you to enjoy this one because it's a great game. So I'm playing as France, which is the ultimate faction in this game, in my opinion, and my favourite. Not because it's just Napoleon, even though I like Napoleon, or strategies and stuff, but I just think it's a very good faction. And I like Britain as well, but France is my favourite. And the Swedishlandsknekt is representing his country today. He's actually playing as Sweden. One of the few times I've seen him use his own country. I think it might be the only time I've seen him use his own country. But he serves his people well today. So my army consists of 4 chasseurs up front. Then for my line infantry, I believe it was 4 units of Fusilier of the Line and 2 units of the Old Guard. This unit is so badass, and it looks so awesome. Absolutely love this unit. Awesome. And of course, one of the greatest things too with France is some great cavs. I've got a Chevalier, it's a Lancer. Then I have 3 Chasseurs Cheval, which is gun cab, but really good in the melee fight as well, as was demonstrated in one of my prior battles where I versed some. They're really great at that. And then I just have a standard Dragoon to fill out the ranks. My artillery consists of 2 6-pounder horse artillery, which doesn't really get to see much action in this fight actually, due to circumstances. And then my general is just a plain staff general. Swedishlandsknekt's army is 5 units of Jaegers, Then he's got 5 units of line infantry, 2 6-pounder horse artillery. So our strategy was pretty aggressive. We both wanted to be able to keep momentum going. He's got 2 units of life guard of foot, which is a very good guard unit, and the Swedish version looks particularly good. I very much enjoy the Swedish colours. His general also has general staff, and then he has 2 life guard of horse and 2 hussars, or his cavalry. So that's their army. I mean our army. Our opponent's armies should be here soon. I'll just triple it up until we are ready. Circumstances force us to be fairly aggressive in this battle, which is right up my alley, but it's a wee bit harder to do in Napoleon anyway, but nonetheless I enjoy it. When's this going to start? Come on, start. There we go. So our opponents are Russia and Austria, so I might just go into a slow-mo. The Russian player directly opposite me has gone for a very widespread army, with clearly the intention of using him as the aggressor to get round into my flank, while the Austrian player uses most of his army to fix Swedes and some of the Russian army to fix mine, and these guys sweep down the flank. So on his flank here he has some mounted rifles. Then he's got 1 17th Jaeger Regiment, 2 Russian Jaegers here, 3 of these Opelchini, which are just militia basically. Oh no, wait a minute, 2 of them, and then a life guard of foot, which is, as we know, a good guard unit. Then he's got Pavlov Hussars. I'm not really familiar with this unit. It looks quite cool though. I'm guessing it's a fairly special hussar. These are 6-pounder foot artillery, Cossack cav, life guard horse, general staff, and a rocket troop. And that rocket troop constantly bombs the crap out of me this fight. This artillery of the Russian player is very frustrating in this fight, to be honest. His main line has got the Moscow Musketeers, which is an improved musketeer, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 musketeers. The Austrian player, his army consists... he's also got a 12-pounder foot artillery, so he's got quite a bit of artillery actually. I think he's got 3 artillery, is it? As you can see, there's some rockets coming at me there. So the Austrian player has the Archduke Charles Legion. That's a very nice piece of infantry there. Then he's got Hungarian Fusilier. His artillery is a 7-pound howitzer, 12-pound foot artillery. It's another 7-pound howitzer. So general staff, Chevalier, Lancer cav, and then let's see, several more Hungarian Fusiliers. The 47th Czech Regiment and the 1st Emperor's Own. So 3 very good line infantry supported by some standard ones. He's got some Landshoots and I suspect he has some more light infantry just hidden from us for now. So what we decide to do I wish I had the drawing tool from Rome 2. Basically, we knew that the Russian player was looking to kind of, like, they're trying to fix us, and the Russian player was trying to sweep around us and just basically bomb the crap out of me with these artillery here, and just try and, you know, kind of get around. Swedes be fixed and my army be swept into and rushed and crushed. So we decided to make a swift move around the left flank up here to engage Austria, so that basically if Russia does attempt to outflank, they're going to get really separated and a potential gap might forge in their line there. So as you can see, the Russian player was going to be the aggressor, the Austrian player was going to be the fixer. So Austria's got quite a long line of infantry, but the Russian player's got a very dedicated flanking force. It's pretty obvious there. So I felt like we'd agreed that to go around the left to try and nullify it and stretch them out for each other and make the Russian have to go much further distance. However, this artillery I'm constantly bombarded by is very frustrating for me in this fight because it does a lot of damage over time. And I was getting kind of hasty because I wanted to get moving quickly, but I was under a lot of bombardment for like the Austrian player and the Russian player bombarded me. So I had about 5 or 6 artillery pieces just bombing me to pieces, and it made it very, very tricky to sort of maintain my cool there. I mean, like as you can see, sometimes it is harder than other times, but I'm rushing a bit here to just get into position because I just don't want to get under too much artillery fire for too long, because I know how risky that could be, considering just how much artillery there is. So I think I'll just triple here, just while we get ahead, so I'm sure you can enjoy that eye candy. Actually, no, I'll double speed because it gets kind of laggy on triple. So as you can see, we're swinging around to the left flank here. So as you can see, the Austrian player was clearly going to be defense to hold, and the Russian was going to be the aggressor. So we're trying to just nullify the strategy, basically. But their artillery does hit me quite a bit. And I was trying to get my guys into position. As you can see, like, here's another really good hit there on my artillery. A lot of the hits were very close and accurate, and it's really more chance than anything else, but it was quite accurate in this game, which made it quite tricky. So there's some more here. As you can see, several of these units are like sort of down by 7 or 8 men and 3, just like that, and we're not even halfway to them yet. So I was kind of like really wanting to get this going quickly before my men took too much damage at the start, because they're concentrating solely on me. As you can see, I took some damage to my chassis de cheval. A lot of these shots are very accurate. Not always the case, but it is here. And the artillery fire becomes so accurate, in fact, that they managed to destroy both my artillery while I'm trying to get it ready for counter-strike. As you see, bombardment is coming in from these rockets here. And it looks absolutely fantastic. As you can see, I'm still just getting wilted down by absolute withering bombardment, and my artillery just, look at this, just absolutely, like the Austrian and the Russian all just completely just going totally nuts onto my artillery here. And I try out limbering it and getting it ready for counter-strike, but I just don't have much show of it at all. So there's some more of this artillery. I must admit, it does look absolutely awesome on screen to watch it, but it's pretty intimidating stuff when you're trying to play and trying to move around a bit. It's important that you don't let it get on top of you, because otherwise it's dangerous, but it's not as bad as you think it is. So I just keep kind of collapsing my flank here. Don't want to be outflanked, and Swedes is going to move up into the left of the Austrian player, and we'll focus on him. But I was probably like, Swedes, hurry, I'm under all this artillery bombardment, I don't want to get destroyed. But I'm just trying to sort of shift around quite a bit here. Swedes is coming up here onto the left. Man, these Jaegers look so awesome. So I consider my artillery is pretty much written off at this stage, or I'm trying to get this unit to withdraw. That's why I love horse artillery. It's not the greatest artillery, but it is very quick, and I like the mobility. I don't like to be made to hang around if I can help it. Even though I know I don't fight in an aggressive fashion as in comparison to like medieval 2 or Rome, but I still like to kind of get the ball rolling. I was trying to get Swedes to go up more this way, and he does eventually do it, so that I can line up and help with Austria, because I know the Russian player, as you can see, the Russian player trying to outflank us is still quite far behind, whereas we're quite close. Let's get some nice shots at it.
Our men are running, sir.
And that is so badass. Yeah, so I was asking Swedes to go just a little further out to the left, just so I could line up. So I just want to keep the Russian out of this. As you can see, a lot of bombardment here, and all they seem to be dedicating on me, which is pretty smart because France is the stronger faction than Sweden. Probably the strongest faction on the field, really, but it's up to debate. It depends on how good you are, and I'm not a very good player at Napoleon, so yeah. So anyway, Swedes is now in range with several of his Jaegers. So let's get some nice close-ups of those. And honestly, Swedes was legendary this fight.
Sir, our general is under attack.
So there you go, my general just got killed by the artillery, which was really scary because loss of a general is dangerous, particularly so early in a game. But as I said before, Swedes is just brilliant in this game. It gives me such good assistance every time I needed it. Excuse me, guys. So I get my chasseurs into position. I'm trying to get them into position anyway. I had to remember though, chasseurs only have 100 range, not 125. But they're still an awesome skirmish unit. Got a lot of firepower. So anyway, Swedes is going to just keep pushing there. I'm just trying to take it steady. And I was very fortunate that my old guard didn't take too many losses from that artillery. It wasn't too drastic. Thank God for that, because I needed them for the later fight. But Swedes is opening up nicely. So these land shoots, which are revealed here, and there's some Windbu Shaker. This is a lovely, awesome unit. But you should be very careful with it. It's a very expensive and very usable unit. Fantastic accuracy. Can hide just about anywhere. It's an amazing unit, and it doesn't leave any smoke trails, and it can stealth really well. But you don't want to let it go to waste because it's dangerous. So over here, me and Swedes make an awesome strike out in the flank, and we destroy most of the Austrian cav. And we're going to just rub the Austrian line, and we decide to charge these Archduke Charles Legion. It's a very good cavalry unit, infantry unit rather, and we decide to just charge it down before it can regroup. They can destroy an extremely valuable unit there. Sweden is also charging into this 47 Czech regiment, so we destroyed the very best of the Austrian line there. Sorry I missed that, guys. I was too caught up with the Windbu Shaker. So here I see another opportunity to use my dragoons here to catch this. Oh no, wait a minute, I was just coming to help Swedes there, and he already finished it. So we use our cav to destroy quite a lot there, and we just kind of keep shifting left, trying to draw the Russian and him, kind of spread them out from each other. As you can see, the Austrian player was meant to be the defender, so we're trying to alter the scheme of their tactics, make the Austrian do the battle, while the Russians kind of left out of the loop, if you will. However, some of Swede's cav does give in there, but he did a very nice job. And there he is right there, practicing NTW. No, I'm recording our epic battle, and your badass Swedishness in this fight. Anyway, we see this Russian cav here, and we decide to kind of sandwich it if we can. But it is a lifeguard horse, so it's going to be pretty strong. So his hussars and my dragoons. My dragoons are pretty good too. They look so cool. That is such a cool unit. And then we see an opportunity here to get the general staff. So I make a quick charge with my Chevaux Legionnaires. And there's artillery there as well. Swedes does an awesome piece of work later on. He gets rid of a lot of this Russian artillery, and I was so pleased with that. I got my Austrian my chasseurs firing at these Austrian units here. These are still Windbush, so I have to be careful in dealing with those. Forced a square here though, which is good, so Swedes is going to get some really good shots on that. I keep trying to push, just cause disruption there. I don't think I quite got that Austrian general, which was very unfortunate. But I believe I damaged him. Shook him up pretty bad. So out here, I'm not sure how that lifeguard of foot got left behind. Maybe Swedes forgot about it. I'm not sure. As you can see, I'm still the centre of bombardment for Russian artillery pieces. And but the skirmish fight, I'm taking a pretty bad thrashing over here, or at least this unit is. But the Austrian player has been pretty badly mauled by our forces, which worked out quite nicely. Here there are several units of a couple of units, the Pavlograd Hussars and the Mounted Rifles here. Now I can see that the Russian player is getting close to me here, and we can't really go any further at this stage because we're just going to try and quickly knock out the Austrian. So he does get into this unit of lifeguard of foot quite badly. I don't think Swedes spotted it, but I decided, right, time to get these chasseurs cheval in and put an end to these pesky Russians. However, I keep doing this with gun cav. I keep getting them clustered up like this, and I accidentally get a bit of my own guys here, but not too many, and it does quite a bit of damage. So we get into a melee scrap here, but this is what I love about chasseurs cheval: great gun cav and good at melee firing at the same time. Bit OP even if you do it right. So as you can see, Swede is now getting crossfire in with his skirmishes, and it's really doing a lot of damage to the Austrian player, and that was brilliant. I am going to keep forcing these Russians away. However, he managed to slip one around the back, and he's going for the Swedish artillery, which is a bit annoying. I don't think Swedes realised I had these chasseurs cheval, and he sends his general in, which is very risky. And it does cost him quite a bit. Now again, I probably shot some of my own guys there. It's quite rough. Need to watch that. I know that's very loud. And unfortunately, Swedes general died there, so it was pretty risky to do that. But we are going to be able to win this one down pretty nicely. So at this stage, it's looking pretty decent really. Swedes goes into squares here, deals with those Cossack cav nicely. It's been very good. And at this stage I decide, if I'm quick, I might be able to destroy these guys if I use my cavalry to support. And he charges me here, but he severely overestimates and underestimates the old guard and the chasseurs when combined. I do an absolute my guys do a phenomenal job of taking down a lot more troops. Thankfully I'm not under as much artillery fire at the moment, so it works out quite nicely. But these old guard are just absolute lifesavers this fight. As you can see, just a few volleys and they rout that musketeer. Sorry guys, I've been talking for a while, so my throat's getting kind of tickly. He tried to send his Moscow musketeers in here. I decided to let this chasseur just sort of take the charge, because I know that my old guard can just shoot them to crap then. I decided to, with my gun cav here, I was trying to either slip round behind to get some of these Russian Jaegers, or to cause disruption in this line so I can quickly destroy it. However, I kind of overestimated my chasseur's chances of holding that at bay. But you're going to lose his Moscow musketeers to my old guard, and going into melee with my old guard is still not a smart thing to do, because my old guard are like the best melee unit in the game. Over here I see where he's reloading, so I decided to just charge straight in, and of course that does tons of damage, throwing some of these guys huge distance. Chasseurs cheval are being a great melee cav as well. I just used it to cause a continuous stream of disruption. I don't really know why he didn't do this, but he could have swept around me. But I left a couple of units in reserve, so if he did try sweeping around me, I could use these guys to pull back so that he couldn't sweep and get my flank. But he probably should have tried it anyway, just to get some big flank shots on my old guard. So I decided to just run up the line here and try and disrupt more and more of his units there with my chasseurs cheval, and they do an absolutely awesome job in this fight. Save my ass a lot. That's why I love that unit. So while I'm causing all this disruption, he decides to do a melee rush here, and I decided to oblige him with my old guard and some of my guys. Now I tried moving my guys around to avoid this because I wanted to try and save them for this fight on the flank. However, he gets too close to my liking. I don't pull my chasseurs out here. That was a bit silly. They're trying to get some canister shot, but he's actually hitting a lot of his own guys there. So what eventually happens is just this big kind of meat grinder melee fight, but I decided to oblige him with my old guard in a moment. Where are they? There's one there, And where's the other one? I know it's here somewhere. Yeah, it's in the back here. And I mean, there's no unit that I have found to be any better than Old Guard at melee fighting. And he just pays a brutal price for even trying that with my Old Guard. So, so it works out quite nicely. My Fusilier of the line will take a bit of a thrashing though, but because Russian troops are found to be fairly good in the melee fight, but Old Guard are just absolute masters of it. So a pretty badass fight here. French, Russians, Napoleon's revenge. What badasses these French are. Probably the only time in history where I think the French are badass and not Ponzi. Nah, I'm just joking, I don't have anything against the French. But his guys just get absolutely wasted by my Old Guard and one of these other guys help him. Swede's still in very nice numbers, comes up and he's just pushed real nicely. This Austrian player has been unable to help his Russian player. So what we effectively done was able to turn it into two separate fights where we were all close to each other and worked in support. And that was absolutely brilliant. However, I was a little concerned. I should have looked after my chasseurs better in this particular fight because I don't really have a means to deal with these Russian Jaegers in the 17th Jaeger Regiment there. And I don't want to risk losing my my line infantry because they were very good, and I have to look after my Old Guard. That unit is still a total and utter badass that I need. But Swedes does an awesome job. As you can see, he used his general staff, I think it was, and he got rid of several of the I forgot to catch it, but big thanks to Swedes for this. Got rid of these artillery that were harassing me this entire fight, and I was absolutely grateful for this. Now, there were a couple of unfortunate things that happened in this fight coming up soon. The Russian player dropped out, like he got dropped. That was really unfortunate. And then not much after him, Swedes gets dropped. So the reason we carried on though was because it was me and the Austrian player versus having two CPU allies eventually. But it's fairly late in the game that they get dropped. The Russian player is still in control at this stage. As you can see, the bar is fairly even. It was looking kind of nasty before, but we've managed to turn this one around. So I'm asking Swedes if he can use his skirmishers to take on the Russians, because he's still got skirmishers and they've got them in good numbers, while I don't. So I said to him, these are only Hungarian Fusilier, and my French units, in particular my Old Guards, will be able to absolutely destroy them. So if you can just help me deal with these skirmishers, because I have no mind left, because I was a bit careless with my chasseur there. And I don't want to let that them get their range advantage on me. So it was probably I'm just going to triple here. As you can see, we're still trying to move around the flanks here, so if Sweden's going to take the Russian on, I'll take the Austrian on from this stage, because my army is capable of taking that Austrian army, while his army's better suited to that Russian skirmish army. But he's still got some line infantry to assist me as well. So Sweden's still got very good troop there. His positioning was excellent. His work in this battle was excellent. He made up for a lot of the mistakes that I made. Those artillery attacks were pretty nasty though, so Swedes get some nice shots. Now, it was roughly about now, I think, that the AI took over the Russian army. And we were pretty confident at this stage, although suddenly the bar's gone down for some reason. I don't really know why that has done so. We open up on the last of this Russian artillery, because that would just be annoying if it got canister shot off at this stage. But Swedes is going to do a nice job of mopping up some of these guys, as we desperately need his skirmishers to hold them at bay, because I mean I've still got a good number of line infantry here, enough to match this Austrian, and I've still got my Old Guard in there as well. 2 units of it, and both of them are at least half strength, even after all that fight they were in. However, I did make a bit of a mistake here at the start. I don't stretch my line out quite as much as I like, and I was concerned here because there was a unit of Russian Jaegers coming up onto my flank, and I did not want to fight Russian Jaegers. And I know Swedes is fighting a lifeguard afoot, but I was asking him to get at least one of these guys over to assist, because I didn't want to lose my line infantry to units I can't really respond to, because I have no skirmish of my own. But he suddenly realises he can't really assist me here, because his skirmishers are taking some pretty nasty blows, even though he's skirmishing quite nicely with his opponent here. And he's doing some nice damage to that lifeguard there, and he's getting some nice flank shots in. But it is the AI at this stage, so it's kind of all over the place. But we're pretty thinned out, so we can't risk too much. Now I do lose that fuse out of the line because of that Jaeger, so I kind of keep retreating and withdrawing back here in the effort to protect my remaining units. And as you can see, Swedes is just altering his line so you get crossfire. But it wasn't too far from now that Swedes dropped as well. And when that happened, I was like, oh no! And it was really scary because like we had this one in the bag, well, roughly well, not in the bag, but it was looking quite good for both of us. And Swedes is doing a nice job. And he's seen some of his skirmishes over this way just to try and help me a little bit. As you can see, he's got some guys up here, but these Austrians will not be a match for at least my old guard. They'll probably be able to take on my Fusilier, but my old guard will just absolutely cream them. And where was it? I think it was probably in another couple of minutes that Swedes got dropped from the game. Like it just dropped him, just like it did the Russian player. No one kicked anyone or anything like silly like that. Let me just pause that. There's just a bit of chittering there. I just want to stop it from happening. And you'll probably be able to tell when he takes, because you'll just see how absolutely incompetent the Swedish army becomes without Swedishlandsknekt-Sweden to take command of it. So I'm moving my guys onto the flank here, further around, while Swedes gives me some nice cover with his line infantry. I'm probably getting a bit isolated from Swedes actually, but I was so desperately trying to get rid of the Austrian. And I think it was about, it was probably about now, or roughly around about now that Swedes was dropped. So most of that Swedish army is now AI, and so is the Russian one. So it's just me and Austria about this stage. Swedes might still be around, but it was roughly around about this stage. And you can particularly start to notice, so there's a bit of a melee scrap going here, and these Russian troops get taken out, Swedish style, and is going to be able to get around there. But all these skirmishes start coming my way, and I really don't want that because I just don't have the means to deal with it. And without Swedes actually taking control of the skirmishes there, I can't expect the AI to do much. And we all know how useless AIs are in Total War games. I think Swedes he'll be able to tell you about what point he went. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, to be honest. Let's just trickle. So his guys seem to have a slightly better angle on me there. As you see, for some reason his guys have got range. The old guard had to get closer. I don't know what that was about. It's kind of irritating. But once I got the old guard into the fight, it made all the difference. That is an absolutely superb unit. I love that unit so much. But these Russian Jaegers are a nuisance because I don't have much support. And I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure Swedes is gone by this point because of the being dropped. But it's really close, this one, right down to the wire. It's getting close now. I just love all the positioning and bandying to get the advantage in this fight. So as you can see, his Hungarian Fusilier won't be able to keep up with me here, but I've got these guys on my flank. Swedes might actually still be there. I think maybe he did do this bayonet charge against these militia or Pellicini. But if he hasn't gone, he'll be gone very soon. He'll be able to tell you though. I'm sure he'll leave a comment. You can tell us what time you actually might have dropped out of this one, Swedes, for the sake of us, because I can't remember actually. I think I was so focused on trying to win. At the time I was like, no! But I open up on a lot of these Austrian troops, and he's probably doing better because he stretches guys into singular lines. But eventually I start to turn it. Over here it's not going quite as well. He just kind of keeps kiting back, but at this stage he's stuffed because his Russian ally's gone. And I think I'll know for certain when Swedes was dropped was when the Russian player had no troops left, because he doesn't remember that happening. Because we were in Steam chat at the time, and he said there were still Russian players on the field when he was playing. And this, I think he would be gone by this stage. I was quite frustrated. Yeah, he's definitely gone by this stage, because what was annoying me was all these Swedish troops needed to do was come up onto the flank, crossfire the Austrians, and we would win. But the AI just kept running backwards, reforming and doing nothing. And it was most annoying. Like, all he has to do is, I can fix these Austrians in the front, Swedish line, bang, 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 and crossfire, and we win. but the AI just wouldn't do it. And Swedes can probably testify. We're on Steam chat and I was like, "You useless AI," and I was getting all mad at the AI because it was frustrating, because I was just trying to get in, because I just knew like we had this perfect chance to win. As you can see, the CPU just sat there for like a minute doing nothing, and we're taking unnecessary losses because of this. And it was rather irritating, to be honest. And I just keep trying to get position here, trying to get around all these Hungarian Fusiliers. He's doing a very nice job of making these Hungarian Fusiliers effective, and he's kind of making it so that I have to keep advancing towards him, and therefore he's getting all the better shots.
Our men are running, sir.
And he routes this unit here, and I was like, uh-oh, because I thought, well, if I'm not careful, I could still stuff this up. Fortunately, the AI finally comes in, but it is walking. Why couldn't it just run? Could have ended this right here and now, but the AI is moronic, as we all know. Fortunately for me, this Fusilier of the line will come back later on. Now, the Austrian player does another tactical withdrawal, and the last of the Russian troops gets destroyed by the AI Swedish player at this stage. And this unit will come back in a moment. Yep, there it goes. Oh, I think I took a minute or so before I noticed. As you can see, some of these Swedish troops are unnecessarily dying because the AI is not committing its forces. Look, see, running back here, stuff like this, very stupid. We could have ended this so much sooner if the AI had just been useful for once, but it's almost too much to ask for in a Total War game. And I believe the Austrian player knows he is completely had it at this stage, so he's probably just going to go in all out. And I'm just going to regroup here so I can get some nice shots off with my French troops there. It was an epic battle though, it really, really was. It was absolutely one of the funnest battles I've ever done on Napoleon. And at this stage I do believe the Austrian player just thinks, right, might have a crack of it. He's got some of his general unit to go run off some of those Swedish Jaegers. For some reason this unit, that's because it unit's out of ammo, so I was moving it onto the flanks in case I had to do a melee charge. I know I open up here somewhere. There we go. And his guys will be mincemeat for the old guard, which is such an awesome unit. As I keep saying, honestly, you gotta love old guard. This unit absolutely saved my ass in this fight. This one ran out of ammo, unfortunately, so I'm going to send around to the flank to try and get him, and then his men just like rout here. And I think that's it. I think that will be the last of his forces. So that was one hell of a close fight. Absolutely close as close could be. So there's the statistics. We all deployed fairly similar sized armies, except for perhaps the Russian player had a few more. Swedes coming out on top there in every way, 1,169 kills and the least losses as well. I took some pretty nasty losses, but I did my fair share with 860. 851 for Austria and 754 for Russia, so we worked really well in that fight. You know, we didn't let their obvious plan, well, it wasn't necessarily obvious, but it seemed obvious to me anyway. We didn't let it get on top of us, and we just made our own happen and continued pushing that left flank. So sometimes, you know, you get aggressive move and change the kind of control of the field. But look at the stats here. Look at this old guard, 241 kills and 118 kills. They are awesome. As you can see, the Chasseur Cheval, 96, 63, and the actual Lancer got 50 as well. And some of the Fusilier of the line did okay, 80. But once you get down to basically under that Elita Legionarii, it doesn't look very pretty for the rest of my army. Still my Chasseurs and my Dragoons and some of the other units not doing so flash. But those old guard were awesome. That is such an awesome unit. So you never let those go to waste. They're very strong, so you can expect quite a bit out of them. It was truly an awesome game, but this one goes to Swedes for his awesome work with his own nation too, so very nicely done. So great game to Swedes, Self-Rated Pro and Gimme Cook's Key 3S. It's a great game. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll link Swede's channel. Be sure you check it out, guys. You'll probably upload this at some point, or he may have already done so, I'm not sure. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon next time.